It's not even controversial anymore.
People know in Florida their freedoms are going to be respected.
Miranda, hello.
Hello.
I'm very jealous of some of this sanity happening in Florida. But we need to talk about it because it's like, this is common sense stuff. We've been talking about all these issues with renters taking advantage of their protections to screw over landlords and just full-blown squatters. Well, in Florida, DeSantis is like, well, we're just going to fix that. And it does help that he's got Republican control in the legislature to be able to carry out sane policy. So he has just signed into law HB 621, which basically makes it impossible in Florida to be a successful squatter.
Yeah, it's true. And I can't even believe that this is something that we have to talk about. I mean, if there's one thing that's part of the American dream is like owning and protecting your property. I can't believe that this even had to be a law that was signed. But this bill essentially ends squatter rights, making it more, not impossible for them to squat, but more easy for property owners to get rid of them. There's still things that are in place. Property owners have to file a complaint with the sheriff's office, prove that they own the property, prove that these people are not there legally. And also they'll have to pay a fee for having them removed because they have to pay for the sheriff's time and et cetera. But now there's going to be just a lot more enforcement behind them having rights to the properties they own and getting rid of these people that have been squatting in their homes for I don't know how long in some cases.
Well, it makes it more instantaneous, which it should be. You're in my house. You don't have a right to be in my house. Isn't that crazy? That's like if somebody came to rob my house and then they're like, well, I'm not leaving. It's like, no, I called 911, you're robbing my house. And they're like, no, I'm just going to stay. And then all of a sudden they've got like rights. We have to go through this legal process of removing them, which is crazy. So it says under HB 621, if you have someone who unlawfully enters and remains on your property and they've been directed to leave but have not done so, you can basically contact law enforcement. And as long as you can prove they're not supposed to be here, like they're out, which is, again, pretty common sense stuff.
It's pretty common sense stuff. And it kind of sucks that we live in a world where we have to like hold a politician on a pedestal because he's doing common sense things to protect people that own property. I mean, it's just, I've seen so many horror stories, not just in Florida, but across the country of squatters just destroying the inside of property that leaves these property owners to pay for thousands and thousands of dollars in damage of people that weren't even supposed to be there to begin with. So in Florida, I think we've had an issue with it because a lot of people, this is a second home in Florida. So that these homes kind of get left unattended for long periods of time, which kind of leaves these windows open for people to squat in a property. But like, it should be as simple as being like, hey, there's somebody in my property that shouldn't be there. And the cops are like, all right, I got you. And they come and remove them. But apparently until now, it wasn't so easy.
No, and we saw this case out of New York where a woman, I think it was in Queens, she goes in, it's like her parents' house that was left to her. And not only can she not get this person out, she ends up getting arrested and like has to prove that so it was like a squatter leasing out a house to another squatter who didn't have rights. And so I just want to note that under this new Florida law, it says it's a first-degree misdemeanor if you make false statements in writing to obtain property. A second-degree felony if you unlawfully occupy or trespass in a residential dwelling and intentionally cause more than $1,000 in damages, and a first-degree felony if you knowingly advertise the sale or rent of a property without legal authority or ownership. So like it's a first-degree felony in Florida now if you say, hey, you want to rent this house and it's not even your house, you're just letting a squatter come in. So
yeah.
sanity.
I also think that that's like one of the most important things about this is not just like making it easier for homeowners to get rid of the squatter problem, but to like impose like penalties on squatters themselves. Like there should be a penalty and repercussions for breaking the law. So
yeah, crazy. All right, Miranda, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Have a good weekend.
It's not even controversial anymore.
People know in Florida their freedoms are going to be respected.